East Coast, I finished 5th, and then West Coast, I think I finished 8th.
That's awesome.
And I think nationally it was like 9th.
That's awesome.
No, I think West Coast was 8th and 9th, yeah. And that was out of like 100 adults.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dirt Drive Podcast. We're here with a very special guest, youngest Ultra4 driver, Peyton Dumford. What's up, Peyton? Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, as you know, I'm the youngest Ultra4 driver. Been racing for 8 years since I was 5, and then last year I started in the big cars racing with the adults.
So what type of cars do you race?
I race last year I raced an XP1000, and then this year I race a Turbo S.
Okay, so you're in the turbo cars now too. So those things are fast.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. How did you get into racing?
Well, from my dad.
Okay, so you raced first?
Yeah, I used to race stock class Jeeps, so like Jeep Cherokees. And then when we decided to move up out of the 170 world, we put her into the big cars, and my stuff got sat in the backwoods. And
do you still have your stuff?
I still do.
Nice. I
do. But it just sits there, and we just focus on her because she's a little bit more marketable. And
that's the important part. Well, marketable, and also she. No offense, you're not an old timer. You're probably what, mid-30s, early 30s.
That's nice of you. I'm almost 40.
Okay, but yeah, you there's no chance, because there's still a chance you can make a career out of it. But she's young.
Yep, she definitely has the potential to go a lot further.
And it's the up-and-coming market.
Exactly.
So, you started racing at 5 years old?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What drew you to racing, or did your dad push you into it?
Dad pretty much pushed me into it.
Is younger sister getting ready to drive at all?
No, I don't have a younger sister.
Oh, who's the other girl hanging out in camp?
She is one of my race friends. I used to race 170s with her. She's still racing, and
that's Hurricane Raleigh.
Hurricane Raleigh.
She'll be racing tomorrow morning in the modified 170 class. So
okay.
Yeah, her dad races in the stock UTV class, and so she comes out. He's been racing years for Ultra4. He switched from big cars down to UTV, and then she races the 170.
Okay. So Peyton, if you could, I have no experience with UTVs. I think they're awesome. I think they're cool. Could you walk us through the difference in the classes, starting from the junior classes all the way up to like the super, I don't know, super pro mod or...
So, like, the little cars are smaller, you do easier stuff. It's short course, basically.
And it's by displacement, right? The 170 is CCs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are smaller, you do less stuff in them. And then you get to my class, and it's pretty chill. You do basically everything an adult would do.
And so in the UTV classes, there's 3 adult classes currently. There's the UTV stock class, which everything is supposed to be stock specific.
Okay.
You can do upgrades to the suspension. You can do shock tuning, things like that, but it must look like a UTV.
So like the 4600 class, stock tire location, stock link control arms.
Exactly.
Stock style, suspension, shocks.
Must mount in the stock position, so shocks must be in the same. You can't move your A-arm positions. You can make them wider. You just can't change
how they mount to the vehicle.
Can't stretch your chassis, things like that. Then you move up to the Pro Mod class, which they're really the elite class right now. But they have the bigger tires, bigger horsepower, and you can do a little bit more modification of those. And then she's currently running in the open class this year, which it's anything goes.
So it's like the 44 Unlimited.
Right.
You can do whatever you want.
Unlimited horsepower. The new Polaris out there with the 4-cylinder, that's racing in there. You can completely make your own car type thing. As long as it's UTV based, you can be in the open class.
Okay. And are you guys still running, because as far as I know, they've introduced gearbox UTVs. Are you guys running, it looks like you're running belt cars. Are you guys looking at making the move to gearbox cars, or?
No, we're going to stick where we're at. Her car is actually basically a stock class car. We're just running in the open class just to get a little bit more room in the track.
Okay.
So we're not with so many people. Give her a little bit more seat time and give her a little bit better positioning and things like that. But we'll stick with that. Actually, next year she'll be moving classes. You're going to move into what class?
We're gonna do the Youth 4900 class.
Okay.
So it's a new class for next year. So it was a big debate whether or not we wanted to make that switch and go down a class. We tried to get her in a youth class for years. They never were listening. I tried for the last 3 years to get it to happen. Finally, it's happening.
They built a new class.
Yeah, so they're going to add a youth class next year, a Youth 4900 class. So she's actually going to be racing next year at King of Hammers.
Oh, nice.
In
Okay.
the youth class. And then we'll help grow that class for at least a year. And then we'll probably come back up and race with the
Will
adults.
that youth class be running the full King of Hammers course, minus one lap like the EMC cars?
So I believe as of right now, it's going to be only one lap.
Okay.
So it'll be one lap, and they'll start 2 hours after the pros start.
Okay.
So
So they shouldn't be getting lapped
exactly.
because as far as I've never been to Hammers, it's one lap on the fast part, one lap in the rocks, then another lap on the fast part.
For the big cars, for the
big cars.
4400. For
So
the
she'll just be in-
UTVs, they only do 2 laps. So
Okay.
they'll do desert, then they'll do rocks. I believe that we'll start 2 hours later, and then we'll just do like the desert loop with some of the rocks.
Okay.
That's just what I'm guessing, because all the pros in that 2 to 3 hour range, they'll be moving over into the
Yeah.
rock section. So that way we're not in their way.
How do you feel between going faster, being on the rocks? Do you have a preference?
I like a little bit of everything. It
Okay.
just depends on what type of rocks or fast sections you're doing.
How do you feel about the rocks here at Famous Reading? I always say that wrong. Famous Reading.
They're fun, but also tricky because they're all super loose, so they move around a lot when you're out there.
Yeah, even just walking on them. Like I was walking out to, it's the end of the course right up here. Just walk. It looks like this big rock should be stable. You step on it, you drive over it, and it shifts. And you're like, oh, that's not good. Let me see if I can figure something else out. Have you wheeled or raced in Pennsylvania before?
No, I've never been in Pennsylvania to do anything before.
What do you think about the course out here?
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's a good course. Pennsylvania is a pretty sweet place to experience. I've been telling a lot of people this, and not a lot of people know it. Pennsylvania, within 30 minutes of here, there is 2 world-class off-road parks. There is AOAA and Roush Creek. If you get a chance, Roush Creek has a trail rider, so you can't. They've got a separate Jeep park and an ATV, UTV, dirt bike park. If you get a chance, wheel both of them. They're absolutely amazing. You need another car out there, and it's just rec wheel. I don't know. Do you do any rec wheeling, or is it all racing?
We do occasional wheeling, yeah.
That's good.
It's kind of hard with the race series because she does all of her work on her cars.
Oh, nice.
So getting something, we typically race about once a month. So to be able to get the car ready in that month and be able to rec wheel kind of makes it tough as far as on the prep time.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys out here that they have teams that prep their cars, or they can prep them in a couple days. But that was the one thing when we started racing. I said, hey, if you're going to race, we don't have the money to make it where somebody else is going to pay for everything. So
Yeah.
you've got to be able to work on your own cars. So ever since the little cars, she's built her own motors, did shock work, did body work.
That's awesome.
She wants to start welding this year. So she wants to start learning how to actually fabricate. And
You'll be one step ahead of me. I can't weld for the life. I just weld boogers. That's all I got.
Yeah, I just want to be better than my dad at welding.
Oh, that might be pretty easy.
It's definitely a lot easy. I'm not a good welder.
Do you enjoy the mechanical side of it?
Yes, definitely.
Is it what part about that do you enjoy?
I like pretty much doing everything.
Okay, so you like measuring like in millimeters and thousands and all that, and doing the fine tuning, but you also like get mad and just hit shit with the hammers.
Yeah, definitely that.
Definitely hitting stuff with hammers. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, she needs to keep me grounded because when I race Jeeps, I would my prep level was very low.
Yeah,
I would just make sure it had oil and I'd go race.
that's how my Cherokee sits in my driveway.
That's just what the Cherokee's for.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd get to the track and we'd go, oh, there's no bolts here, so we'd put a bolt in it. I mean, still to this day, my last race I ran, we finished the race. I don't know how, but we finished the race, and then I took my wife out to do just show her the lap, and the bolt on the drag link ripped out.
Oh, that's good.
So right now, this was 3 years ago. It still has 75 zip ties, holding it on so that we can get off the track.
We are friends.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just how it goes. And I would probably go take it out and maybe put a lock washer on it or something so that it stays on there.
Yeah.
But with these cars, it's like a full prep. Every time we get done racing, car comes home, gets on the lift, and it's taken down, take everything off, put all new bolts in, figure out what everything is, because as these big racers call them, these are just golf carts.
Yeah.
So we just race golf carts. So.
Well, yeah, but I think they're so cool, and I think it's such an accessible class. Like, I know people don't, but you could. I mean, it's you said it's pretty much a stock car. You could go to a dealership, buy one, take it out. You're spending 40, 50 grand, but I could go pick up one tomorrow and be racing tomorrow. That's what's so cool about it.
Exactly. And the nice thing is you can finance everything you want for it. And you can
Yikes.
go. And then you're ready to go racing. And
Don't do that.
Just have fun. And really, that's the cool thing with this class is with the 4900 class, you can go out there and have fun and not spend a ton of money doing it.
Yeah, you're wheeling the bank's vehicle too, so you're
exactly.
good to go.
And when it's done, there might be a miraculous fire or something, and something might happen. Who knows?
Oh no!
So yeah, but it's definitely a good class. It's a growing class. I mean, we had
there's more UTVs here than anything.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many.
Yeah, and that was the one thing we raced. Her first race this year, I think we had 65 cars on track.
Damn.
In an 8-mile course.
Damn.
So yeah, it was a lot of cars in that short little track. 8 miles sounds long, but it's not. I mean, basically in that time frame, we figured it was 8 cars per mile.
Damn.
So yeah,
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
So do you have a lot of friends? Have you made a lot of friends through the sport?
Definitely. Since I'm homeschooled, this is like my way of making a lot of friends.
So this is your life. You're homeschooled to race?
Yes, pretty much.
That's awesome. Is that your choice or is that Dad's choice?
When I was little, my mom decided, and then as I got older, I chose to do it.
Okay. That's awesome. So tell me about some of the friends you've made and the relationship that you have because of the sport.
I made a lot of really good friends, like Hurricane Raleigh. We've been friends for a while, and just keep making more friends as you go through the sport.
Yeah.
She's had a lot of help too, not even from just the young friends. It's the adults that have stepped up. She got a mentor, I'll let her tell you about that, who helps her out, and just people that have made sure that she's out there. I mean, we're all racing, but at the end of the day, they all come over and make sure she's taken care of, make sure things are right, so that way she can do the best that she can do.
Well, I feel bad because the last 5 people I've talked to, we've talked about community, so this month and a half that these episodes are going to be airing, we're going to be talking about community every week, but you really can't avoid that because it's so big and there's just so much help to be had. Tell me about your mentor and how you've grown with your mentor.
So my mentor, I don't really remember how I think we met him through our racings, the series I used to do, and he took me, we went to his house and he taught me basically how to drive my 1000 and get through drift, do turns and everything. We spent, I think, a week out there going, and he just taught me, and a little bit later I went and did a race and did perfectly fine.
Nice. How do you, so in the junior classes, were you just murdering everyone? You just ripping it apart?
Yep, definitely.
Nice. Are you finishing pretty well in the adult class that you're in now?
Yeah, for the most part.
Pretty competitive?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, so the nice thing with this is it's endurance racing. So the fastest car doesn't always win.
Yep.
And so it's about being consistent. Last year, where'd you finish? In the East Coast?
East Coast, I finished 5th, and then West Coast, I think I finished 8th.
That's awesome.
And I think nationally it was like 9th.
That's awesome.
No, I think West Coast was 8th and 9th, yeah. And that was out of like 100 adults. So we're not the fastest. We just typically finish. This year we've tried to finish.
I just realized your shirt and I love it.
Yes.
That's so great. Sorry.
No, it's good.
ADD. It says dumb Ford because of the Dumfords.
Yep,
Got it.
yep.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
But no, we tried. She normally finishes pretty well. Like I said, she's not the fastest, but it's the fact that she finishes. And so this year, starting this race, she was 2nd on the East Coast, 7th on the West Coast.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I mean, this wasn't a great race today. It was. I think we still finished 4th in class today.
Okay.
But we'll see where the points shake out. We got a couple more races for the year. Need to get some new parts on it and see what happens.
So tell me about your race today. Tell me about how you qualified, how you felt off the line. Just go ahead and walk me through the whole race.
So I think not sure where we qualified, but I know we did 47 seconds.
And that qualifying was fast.
Yeah, it was.
It was a non-technical course. I rode with George in the big car, and it was not during the actual qualifying. I put it in practice, and it's tight. I don't know if you've been in. I'm sure you've been in trees like that before, but being in a passenger seat like that, it scared the S out of me. Sorry, I'm working on it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, most of the qualifying courses, you have something that's like your actual race course, and this was just basically a circle, so it was really a good way for a fast area to test it.
The one thing the race organizers did really well is build this course. I don't think... Sorry, Miles. I know you might be listening because I think we're friends now. The qualifying lap did not mirror the track very well here, I don't think.
Not at all. I mean, your golf cart could have went out there and done something.
Yeah, I could have done it in two-wheel drive in my 33 barely lifted Jeep.
Actually, my buddy Roger King, that's racing in the 4600 stock class, they broke their transfer case earlier. They went out and qualified in two-wheel drive. And yeah, it was easy. It was not anything like what you were racing out there.
Yeah. So 47 seconds, pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you know what spot that puts you in?
I think might have 27th overall.
That's not bad.
A little bit better. I think we were like 23rd overall, 5th in class.
Okay.
So,
oh yeah, 5th in class. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty decent.
And overall, how many cars is that out of?
I think there was 26 or 27.
Okay.
So I mean, we're racing against people that have raced forever, that have big cars.
Well, you're also racing against Paul Wolf, right?
Exactly, racing against Paul Wolf,
who is legitimately a professional race car. I guess. I mean, you're a professional race car driver. You do it 2-3 times, or 1 to 2 times a month. You're homeschooled because you're doing it all the time. So you are a professional race car driver. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But you're doing it against adult professional race car drivers who
do it every day, that are seasoned.
They get paid well to do this. So that's, I mean, you didn't qualify last. You qualified pretty damn good, 5th in class. So,
and that's the cool thing again with the camaraderie. Paul Wolf comes over and talks to her, gives her pointers. Papa Poe, like I said, her mentor, helps her out. Yells at her every once in a while because she's not going fast enough. But just everybody here, it's not about them beating us. They know we're out there. They know who she is. They give us the respect on the track. Again, they're lapping us most of the time.
Yeah.
So they know that we'll get out of their way, so they're not going to push us into the woods like they're racing someone that wouldn't get out of the way. So it's really cool how we've built the relationships with these people. And they went from competitors to friends to family, and it's really cool.
Yeah, another big theme of the weekend is you don't race in the pits, you race on the track. Everyone is friends in the pits, which is, just like you said, it's really awesome, really cool, and everyone's supporting everyone. How was your start? How'd you do off the line?
Pretty good. It was pretty much a drag race till most of it.
And that's quick too, because you're on it for like 200 yards. You're straight in it.
Yeah.
And again, we were in open class, so our little 1000 turbo car was racing against our buddy Jeff that has that Pro R 4-cylinder. I think he did pretty well today. I think he almost made it up to 4th place overall. So we were racing against him, and she did get on the start. She actually kind of kept up with him. He was definitely faster than us, so we backed down to get out of his dust, because once you get in the dust, you can't really see much. No. And you got to make sure you ain't hitting a tree, because those trees are not forgiving.
And they're like I said, it's pretty tight out there in some parts. So after your takeoff, how many laps did you get? What was your favorite part of the course?
We made 1 lap. We broke the front A-arm, so we pulled off after we crossed the finish line.
Okay. And so you at least made it back to the finish line.
Yes, made it back to the finish line. I think my favorite part was like the rock garden, like really close to the end.
Yeah, right up here.
Yeah, right there.
It's really good. That's a really good garden. I was watching some UTVs, and for the longest time I would discredit them. I'm like, oh, I could do that in my Cherokee. And then being out here, I'm like, I couldn't do shit in my Cherokee. This is wild.
That's the one thing when he used to race. I would always go and watch him, and we went to Tennessee for one of his races. There was a hill. Took him forever to get up. Then UTVs came through, made it right up. And then last year when I got into the big car, I climbed right up it.
Well, just like this year at the Hammers, you raced Hammers this year, right?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You're going next year?
Yes.
But do you watch Hammers?
Yes, I love Hammers.
Horsepower Hill?
Yep.
All of the stock class cars got stuck, except for the one Hemi 392 Jeep. That was the only one that made it up the hill. UTVs screamed up it. It was amazing. It just makes me smile.
And back onto today's race, even with the laps only making one lap, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in our class there was only 2 people that did more than one lap.
Oh shit!
So it was pretty brutal.
How was your lap time compared to the 2 people or to the other people that did one lap?
So we did 50 minutes on that first lap, which is long. But the next guy, which is our teammate Cody Quattlebaum, he did 40 minutes. But with us starting in the back, we had to sit in traffic and watch everybody winch. Yeah. The first hill we winched up, and that took us a while. But then after that, we did everything else pretty flawless. So if we didn't have to winch that first one, I think we'd have had a pretty respectable time.
Yeah, I mean, that's still respectable.
Right.
So.
And then being stuck behind everybody, which that's the key to qualifying. If you get out in front, you got clean air.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about traffic jams. But I mean, we went from last place basically to, let me see, the overall, I think it was 11th.
Damn, overall.
So I'll take it. She did hurt her arm a little bit. We broke the car a little, or her wrist, or shoulder, whatever I think it is.
Yeah, shoulder.
So we could have maybe fixed the car and went a little more. But yeah, we're 11th overall out of 24 in class.
Okay.
And we started pretty much at the back of the pack. So I'm good with that. I'll take it every day. I'm not really happy that the car's broken.
It's just an ARM though. It's not that big of a break. It's what, 3-4 bolts?
Yeah, it's about 3 bolts and
some
hammers. Yeah, we could have put the car back together. I think with her shoulder being messed up.
Yeah. It's worth keeping her healthy.
Right. Keep her healthy. Let's go out there and we'll come back. We're going to race at Crandon next up in Wisconsin. And we still did all right. So I'm good with it.
Did you hit the Joker?
No, we didn't hit the Joker because I could feel something was wrong with the car, and I didn't want to try to go up it because we didn't practice it.
Okay, so you didn't pre-run it at all?
No, we didn't.
Did you have a line picked out for it?
Yes, we did have a line, but I just decided.
Yeah, because I sent you the photo. So was it that line?
Yeah, it was that line. But then I heard actually that line was good, but there was a line further up.
Oh, so you go even further up the 44?
Even further up, and then you could cut over.
Wild.
Yeah, so we were going to go up there and see what happened, but she said she didn't feel the car. So we were like, let's go through and go to the pits. And things kept getting worse and worse. And now that we got here, I see why it was worse. And I'm glad we stopped. Like I said, we probably could have put it back together and maybe made a half a lap or a lap, but we'll be safe and do what we need to do.
When do you think the car broke?
I'm going to think possibly Kool-Aid.
Okay.
So that's that first rock hill that everybody has to winch up. It was a struggle there. We might have that might have weakened it, but I think just it was a brutal course today.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact
it was so impressive. They did, like I said, the qualifying course was lame. Sorry. The course, probably one of the best courses in the circuit. It trumped Visions.
Oh, it truly was an
did.
Ultra4 course. This was not your GNCC short course type stuff. It was a real course. I mean, it was funny. We were going up and down the pits today and campers yesterday, and people were talking about strategy. Yeah. Normally, it's just, hey, do we put the small tires on so we can go faster, or what are we doing? But now it was like, so do we take the Joker first? Do we take it second? Do we winch? Do we keep our winch cable out so it's faster for us to get up stuff? People were making strategies, and that's what Ultra4 is about.
Yeah.
It's new for her to do all this stuff.
To have a strategy to get to, like...
She grew up in the world where we're just,
flat track
going fast, type things. So it's good. She impressed me. There was a hill that we never tried during qualifying. It was a big rock wall. We sat there during practice, and it was like 45 minutes watching 2 cars go up it, and she walked right up it today.
Nice.
Our plan originally, we talked all night. We said we're going to get there, get as high as you can. I'm going to jump out, and I'm going to hook the winch up. And she drove up it.
Nice. Are you guys allowed to run a sticky tire, or do you have to run like a DOT compound tire?
Yeah, we can run that.
Okay. Yeah.
So we run the MRT tires. We have a semi-sticky.
I didn't know they were so popular. I've seen them because I want to call him a buddy. Daniel May Applegate runs the Gear Monkey racing car.
Yep.
And that's his big sponsor the last 2 years.
Yeah, I actually talked to him about switching it over because I ran those on my Jeep.
Okay.
And he was running all kinds of other stuff, and he finally did it. I hope he gets back out and starts racing.
I've been talking to him. Daniel, I'm still coming to Hammers with you. We're gonna be your pit crew, and we're gonna have a good time. I'm trying to. He was on. Oh God, probably 5 months ago, and we were talking, and he's like, "Yes, I'm going to Hammers, and yes, you guys are gonna be my pit crew." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I've been trying to get a hold of him. He's out in Colorado right now, wheeling with his family, doing a whole vacation thing. So I haven't been bugging him, but
Daniel,
yeah.
Come race. We miss you. Come out and race. We still need a T-shirt, by the way, too.
Yeah, he owes me a T-shirt as well. To be fair, I also owe him a T-shirt. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, MRT seems like a great brand. We met the rep is a good friend with George. He hung out in our pit for a little bit today. So
is that Mr. Anthony Muncie?
Yep.
Yeah. Tell him next time when he comes over here. We haven't seen him all weekend, so he needs to come see his sponsored driver. That's out here.
Actually, I saw him when you were trying to fix the car.
Oh, at least you saw him. That's a good thing.
Yeah, he yelled at me because I wasn't on the track.
Oh, okay. Not putting the name in front of cameras.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll give them a shout out at the end of the show. We just gave them a huge shout out.
Exactly.
Shout out to MRT Tires.
Yep.
So you run a sticky compound tire, which obviously helps walk up that hill. There's probably not even an option for like a DOT compound tire, is there?
So there is. So ours is, we don't run the super sticky. We do the semi-sticky. So the truck tires, like Daniel runs, that is a DOT street tire. But yeah, for the UTVs, they don't have a DOT one.
One of the things that drew me to Daniel is my phone's going off. This keeps happening, man. I'm doing intermittent fasting. It's telling me I got an hour left to eat.
Oh, you definitely need to do that. Or not eat, but drink. I mean,
beer counts.
Yeah.
But another thing that drew me to reaching out to Daniel is he's got a white Cherokee. I've got a white Cherokee. He runs cab fab suspension. I run cab fab suspension. He has he had the tread right guard dogs, and those are the tires that I run in a 33. And I'm like, this dude is racing my car. I reached out to him a few years ago. We've been talking back and forth. But yeah, that was just a cool.
Yeah,
connection.
I mean he's a cool guy. We've met him a few times, talked to him. Same thing. And I'm a Cherokee guy, like I said. I don't have the cab. I have some cab fab stuff, but he has a lot of the stuff that we have.
Yeah.
And he's a cool guy. He just needs to get out and start racing again.
Yeah.
He's had some really bad luck at Hammers the last few times, but he needs to come out and get more seat time.
So you guys made it up that hill because the tires were so good. Shout out MRT. What was the next thing that you guys hit after that?
The rock garden. I don't really know if there's a name for it.
Oh, at the back of the course?
Yeah, the back of the course. You have that long rock garden, and then you come out right here.
So we saw a lot of people broken up top and just everywhere. There was cars lining the track.
Yeah, I was at that top rock garden. I was standing up there at the spectator area. I saw 6 cars cut tires.
Yeah. Tires were a big thing. And again, we didn't have any issues with tires. We thought we did, but they also have air in them. And like I said, she climbed it, 0 practice, just went up it like was a gravel road. Yeah. And it was really cool. And then she ran through the rock garden, no issues. During pre-running, we did have some issues, but this time there was no issues. She just went through it. I wish the car would have stayed together because we would have made some more laps. And
just a bad hit, just some bad luck.
Just some bad parts. And so hopefully we'll get some people out there that hear this and want to come jump on board for Hammers, and we'll get some new parts and make it happen.
Yeah. So tough race today. Next race is Crandon. Of all of the circuits you've been to, all of the states, which I'm sure has been, you probably have a map filled up. You probably have your picture map covered by now.
Definitely.
What has been your favorite state or favorite track to visit and keep going to?
Crandon.
Crandon? Okay.
But she has revenge against Crandon.
Oh.
So last year we had really bad luck. We did great in pre-running, qualifying, whatever you want to call it out there. She was passing a bunch of people in the rocks. But then on race day, we broke 2 axles on the main rock trail. Oof. And it was just done from there. Bad thing is I had all my parts back in our camper that was like in walking distance, but I had all the tools at the pits. Okay. That was the complete opposite area.
Yeah, y'all are set up here. Y'all are right here.
This was strategically planned so that I'm fat and lazy. I don't have to like wheel a bunch of stuff out somewhere. We can just walk out to the pits and make it happen.
So with your racing and traveling, God damn it, where was I going? Do a lot of your friends also race and travel and do the homeschooling thing too? Or do they commute, if you will, to the races?
Not a lot of my friends, like, back home do this, but I've got a couple to come, but not many.
No, your race friends. Do a lot of your race friends do the thing you're doing and make a life of it?
No, not really.
So you get to meet a lot of cool people a lot of different places.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, she's one of the only ones, not only ones, there's not a bunch of them that homeschool, so that is a big struggle. She had another friend that was starting racing with her for a while, but because of the schedule, they were getting truancy calls all the time because of missing so much school. I mean, we left Wednesday to come up here, and we'll leave here maybe Sunday, Monday.
And y'all are from Ohio?
Ohio. Okay. So, we spend a lot of time on the road and a lot of time traveling, but it makes it nice being homeschooled.
Yeah.
And she's able to still get an education and do what she needs to do.
Do you guys have a permanent address in Ohio?
Yeah, we live in Ohio. We have a real house there. But I work in Ohio and stay there most of the time. But, yeah, we just travel.
So what do you do to support the sport or to support your daughter racing in the sport?
So I actually do investments. I'm an investment advisor.
Okay.
And I tell everybody racing is the worst investment out there.
I was going to say, I need to see you because I'm horrible with my finances.
Yeah, just don't get into racing because it's bad. Jeeps, just empty every pocket. Same thing.
Yeah.
Just anything that has a motor.
Got 2 of them.
Yeah. It's bad. But racing is really bad.
So you're 13.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to getting your driver's license soon? And you can't drive like this on the streets, right?
Yes. The joke with my family is that I'm going to get many speeding tickets, so we need to have a lawyer on hand.
Yeah. The thing that caught me off, the first time I've ever driven a UTV is going up to that area, driving George's. The thing that threw me off is it doesn't idle. It doesn't roll and idle. So that was a big change. And have you driven a car before?
My mom's occasionally in the truck.
Okay, so you have some experience because it was a big change. I threw that thing in reverse and I'm like, why am I not going anywhere? This is really weird. That's just my ignorance about it, though. Yeah,
UTVs are a whole different beast. I mean, it's nothing like a car, besides it has wheels on it.
Yeah.
And it goes forward and reverse. So, yeah, it's got that belt in there that has to spin up fast enough so it moves. But yeah.
It's all friction-based.
Yep. But, I mean, it's a good thing sometimes. We've had it in gear and didn't realize it and started it, turned it off, something like that. So, it's good it doesn't move all the time.
Nice. So, are you doing any special prep for hammers? Are you doing anything to get yourself ready for that grueling up to 15-hour race?
Yes, we are. We got another chassis so we can build a good
dedicated car.
Yeah, good frame for it for the race, basically.
Okay. And how do you?
Oh yeah, we're doing the rookie program for it.
Okay, that's awesome. That'll be really good. And the rookie program seems like it's really well set up. They had their rookie program training this week, I think, out there, and that looked awesome. They had a ton of stuff going on. I can't speak too much about it because I was focused on this race and not really worrying about that. But it is something I want to cover.
Yeah, that was our bad thing too. Is they had it was actually the weekend before. You go out to Hammers, use their cars, learn about what you need to do, and then again they have one next weekend. So it doesn't really work out on our schedule for us to be out there. But it's a really cool program. I mean, they give you all the logistics that you need, so that way you can go out there and be successful. There's also a really nice group there. You can pit with all the rookies, camp with all the rookies, learn with all the rookies, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you end up getting your dad whipped into shape with the iPad and show him how to use the GPS?
Yeah. For the most part, I got
that was
too.
fun. That was fun watching you struggle this morning, asking Cameron for help and all this stuff.
Bad thing is, it still didn't work out there.
Did it not?
No.
So you were just following the ruts and
Yeah, I was just going blind. I mean,
Okay.
but when I raced my Cherokee, I never used the GPS, so I'm used to seeing it and just going with the flow. And so we did pretty good. We didn't short course anything. We did our thing, and eventually I'll figure out how to use a GPS.
Might be worth asking the Ultra4 crew.
Exactly. Yeah, they can probably learn us something, and I think that's the cool thing with that rookie program is they explain
that's
how
what they
things
teach.
work, what you need to do, how you can read things. Because even being out in the desert, there's 100 lines going through the desert, so you need to know where you're at.
You can only be 25 feet off the center of the course.
Exactly.
So that 100 lines.
But that only applies to us hobby racers. You know, the pro racers, they can do what they want to do.
I loved that. That was my absolute favorite thing at the drivers' meeting. Was it Terry that got yelled at by Dave? That was
but he's not the one that brought up the hobby racing. I'm not gonna bring up names, but it's.
I've heard that phrase a little bit, and not being totally involved in the sport because I'm just a basic off-roader. I enjoy Ultra4. I found it because of Daniel, but I just enjoy the sport, and it's just part of what we do here. What's the story behind the hobby racer?
There's some professional racers that said some stuff at a drivers meeting or at a summit and kind of burnt some people's bridges and some thoughts, and so there's some stickers going around talking about hobby racers. And
I love that.
All of us that don't do this for a profession, we're hobby racers. So we go by rules and different standards.
You may be a hobby racer, but she is a professional race car driver. So.
Exactly. So she might not be a hobby
racer. Look at
racer.
that smile. She's like, hell yeah, I'm a professional race car driver. Screw you guys.
Yes, definitely.
That's the goal. I mean, she'll eventually not be a hobby racer. I think if things go well, she might get some professional stuff, especially if she can make it out to Hammers and do decent.
Well, she's sponsored by Daddy right now, so
exactly
good to go.
And Daddy's broke,
aren't we all? So, what are you looking forward to most about Hammers? Is it just the course? Is it actually just going out there and experiencing it the first time? Have you been out to a race and not raced, or is this going to be your first time on the lake bed?
Never been out there, but I think the most exciting part is to go out there because I've watched it forever, and also to try to be the youngest finisher to ever finish King of the Hammers.
It's not try. There's no finish and try. To be the finisher, to be the youngest finisher. That would be awesome.
Yes.
So change your verbiage. Not to preach, but if you say try, you're probably not going to do it. If you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Yeah, that's definitely our goal. It's been it for a while now, is to be the youngest finisher.
Yeah.
And we're going to do everything we can. Hopefully we can get enough people on board to make it happen. It's going to take an army, and it's going to be a fun journey. What
do you guys do to market yourself? Obviously, you got MRT as a sponsor. What do you guys do to get yourself out there and reach out to people?
Just basically go to events and try to find people and talk to them.
Yeah, because it's tough getting sponsors, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. It's almost a full-time job.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. She does really good with her social media stuff, talking to some different people, things like that. We have a decent crew of people that are on our team as far as sponsor-wise. But hopefully next year we get a little more step up in what they're doing, getting some more people on board that can actually make the journey happen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. How has being in Ohio, because obviously you train when you're not racing, is there any good parks or tracks around you that you like to run on when you're at home?
No, there's not
really?
much out there, so racing is basically my practice.
Okay.
That's the one disadvantage. We're right by Cincinnati, Ohio, so for us to get to anything worthy is 2 to 3 hours.
That's not horrible.
It's not horrible, but it's not like some of these guys, like another guy on our team, Jeremy Blackburn. He drives out of his driveway, and he's got a Ultra4 car. Like, it's a natural park or something where he lives, and it's just phenomenal. So there's a lot of people that can go out there and do that, have a course. We've got to drive. And again, like I said, that prep time in between races, it's hard. You can't go out there and beat your car to death and then come home the next day and put it together so you can load it in a trailer for a week.
Do you have any ATV or dirt bike short tracks around that'll let you rip around?
No, again, the closest stuff is like an hour to 2 hours away, and the being where we are in Ohio, it's 90% mud, so there's not rocks. If you want to spend a week cleaning your car, sure, go out to some of those tracks. But there's nothing really exciting in the close vicinity. So
that is the nice thing about the bad thing about the East Coast is everything is private. The good thing about it is you drive 6 hours, you can find six different parks in either direction. So you can get a lot of experience. It just takes that. Yeah,
I mean, we're going to do a bunch of after the season. We're going to do a bunch of training down at like AOP, Adventure Off-Road Park. This place is amazing for hammer training.
So nice. How far was y'all's drive?
Well, it was 8.5 hours on the map, but we lost our alternator an hour into the try. So we slowed down a little bit. So it took us about 10 hours to get out here.
Do you guys have two vehicles or just one? You guys have a chase vehicle or just the RV?
Just the RV.
Okay.
So fortunately, the generator was able to keep the batteries charged enough.
The onboard generator for the house power?
Yep. So it kept it charged enough.
That is great engineering. I love that.
Yeah. So we got here with only 10.5 volts left on the batteries. Fortunately, Big B Motorsports found us a guy here locally that delivered us an alternator. So at some point before we leave, we got to put that on so we can make it back home.
All right. Sweet. I've enjoyed hanging out with y'all. And it was funny because like I was just talking to Cameron and you reached over, you're like, oh, you got a picture? Send me that shit. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then we ended up hitting it off and talking a little bit. I'm hoping the next race will be Hammers. And at Hammers, I would love to have you on again and get to know you guys a little better. Do you have any fun stories or anything from your racing? Anything you want to share? Anybody you want to shout out? Any fun stories in general?
Well, I'd definitely like to shout out some of my sponsors. I would like to say a big shout out to MRT Tires, Bandit Off-Road, Ultimax Belts, and AJK Off-Road.
Did you hit them all?
Oh, she's got some more on here. We'll let her get a couple more on there, but we won't take up the whole podcast.
That's fine.
Oh, I also want to thank G-Force Racing, and I would like to thank Off-Road Vixens.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Off-Road Vixens. They're an apparel company, aren't they?
Yeah, they're an apparel company. They were one of her earlier sponsors. We went and did a show at an off-road expo, and someone's like, hey, you should be a Vixen. Reach out to them, and she's been a Vixen now, I think, for 3 years. Starting in the 170 world, so that'd be 3 years.
I think it was longer than that.
It's 3 or 4 years. Been an off-road Vixen. They've great group of ladies. Unfortunately, most of them are on the West Coast, so we don't see a bunch of them.
Well, that's pretty much the whole industry. Is we hide on the East Coast. I mean, at this event, I've learned that there's, Maryland and Pennsylvania within 3 hours of me. There's like 10 Ultra4 teams, but you don't know it because they're not at the same national park, same national forest, BLM property every weekend testing their cars.
Exactly.
They're out at the half dozen parks within 6 hours of their house when they can.
Right. And that's the thing. A lot of us East Coast drivers, we don't get the publicity that the West Coast does because the West got all the money. They got all the fancy stuff, the people to show up. We just show up and have results. That's the big thing.
Hey, with this event going the way it did and going the way it's going, this could potentially be, I guess, the big events of the double points races. I see in the next few years, if they keep coming back here, this will be one of the double points races. This will be one of the biggest events in the circuit.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is a true Ultra4 course. And I'm glad that Jason Robinette, that owns Ultra4 USA, gave Miles and gave JT the permission, make it hard. Everybody kind of like slapped him in the face at the drivers' meeting, said Ultra4 is not hard anymore. They made it hard.
Yeah.
They brought the game. And with them being part of Ultra4 and having it, it's amazing. Well, they bring the family aspect into the racing again.
And with the few parks that I know of, I know a dozen parks up and down the East Coast. This isn't the hardest park I know. There is by far harder parks than this on the East Coast, and they're going to find them and they're going to do it. The problem is they're all private, so nobody knows about it. You got AOP. Good Evening Ranch is a wild park.
We raced Good Evening Ranch twice. Great place.
Yeah.
I rolled down a hill down there in the Cherokee. It was fun.
You rolled like end over end?
Yeah. It was good stuff. And my wife wasn't really happy because I never told her on the radio. And then they she heard it on somebody else's radio that somebody rolled down a hill. But we got ourselves back up, and I think we still finished second that day. So it was a good time.
Have you had any big wrecks that kind of shaking you a little bit?
At AOP, actually, the first time I drove my turbo car, we made it to the top of one of the hills and went a little bit, and then we rolled it down a hill.
All the way down, like end over end a few times?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 times.
It's funny how casually you guys talk about this. And when I say you guys, I mean like just the racers. I was talking to Cameron and George, like, yeah, we put it on its side, we rolled it a few times. I'm like, that sounds absolutely frightening. Like, I'm not even a girl. I'm just a wimp about it, because, I mean, you're a badass girl, so I can't even say I'm a girl about it. I'm just a wimp about it. I think I would be frightened, and if I was to roll a car, I think I'd have to shut it off and end the race, even though the car could keep going. It's
definitely an experience, but once you do it once, it's kind of becomes nature.
Kind of look forward to it the next time. You're like, yeah.
I mean, you don't want to do it, but it's just one of those things. I mean, you just got to make sure you're doing your safety stuff. You're not going to hold your steering wheel when you're rolling.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to break an arm, break a wrist.
Grab your straps.
And you're going to stop at some point. I don't know when. Depends on how big the hill is. It might be a long time, but you're going to stop at some point. Build your car safe. Make it good so that way you can walk away the next day and do it again.
Was your shoulder injury a race-related injury, or was it...
Yeah. This race, yeah.
Oh, this race?
Yeah.
Was it... What happened to hurt your shoulder?
We came up, Kool-Aid, and...
Oh, so it was on Kool-Aid?
Yeah, we came up to the top of it, and we hit something, and it jammed my... the whole arm backwards.
That's rough.
And so, you got to give her props. I mean, that's like mile 3 or 4, I think
and
it is.
And she kept going 7 miles.
You know, a lot of people, I probably would have pulled over and just start drinking beer or something instead of racing, but she kept it going. She made it up Kool-Aid, and like I said, she finished the whole course. Yeah, had the car not failed, we would still be racing.
Stretch it out, keep it moving. It's the best thing to do. What do you do to keep yourself in shape to race? Do you do any running, do any stretching?
I do some running.
Okay.
With the dog.
Yeah, you got that cute little dog outside.
Yep, that's our bandit. We have some new workout routines we're gonna do. Get our arm strength up, just endurance wise. I didn't get my fat butt moving again. I used to run all the time, so I need to do that again. So that way, when I need to pull a winch line, I can do it and not have to worry about it.
So the best thing, I know my listeners are tired of me talking about it, is I talk about my intermittent fasting, which I've lost 30 pounds. It works really well.
Congrats.
I don't eat from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. And as you do it longer, you get hungrier later. So it works really well. So if you're looking to lose weight,
I've looked into it. I like to drink too much beer and eat too much food. And I'm a midnight snacker. So like I eat through the night, but it's...
Well, yeah, you're doing a lot of driving too. So when I'm driving, I eat to keep myself awake.
Right. So that's the bad thing, but I've heard really good things on it.
Yeah.
And so I might try it eventually.
And something that you could get your dad in, you probably laugh at him the whole time, is I love doing my yoga. He'd probably look pretty funny doing yoga. Make him do it with you.
So we started looking at DDP yoga, like the old wrestler. Diamond Dallas Page, Diamond Cutter. He has his own workout program, and it's actually pretty good. We've done it for a little bit years ago, but it's actually a workout.
Yeah, that's one thing, and it kicks my butt, and it doesn't. I don't stay in shape to do anything. I just stay in shape to not be fat. But that's the one thing I do to stay in shape is yoga, and it helps really, really well. And I'm sure you would giggle at your dad all the time, have him do downward dog.
Yeah, definitely would. I'd have the camera out.
Oh yeah, make sure you record it. Make sure you put it on your social. That's how you get a sponsor. Get Peloton as a sponsor.
That'd be a good one.
Cool guys. You want to plug into your social media or anything? Where can people find you at?
On Facebook, you can look up Dirt Princess 7, and then Instagram is Dirt Princess
_7.
Yep.
Okay. Pretty even across the board. Have you done YouTube yet?
Yes.
We do have a Dumfort Racing YouTube page that we post all of our videos that we have.
Okay.
You can see some of our old ones, some of our new ones. And then we're also with Bandit Off-Road. So they have a YouTube page as well, Bandit Off-Road Racing. They're one of our other sponsors that provides us with lots of parts, and that's who we team up with, Cody Quattlebaum and Jerry Blackburn. Good people to be with. And so between those, we all have our media that post up on there. And Dirt Princess 7 and on Facebook and DirtPrincess_7 on Instagram.
Yeah, I will say, unfortunately, for our generation, and you as well, being very active on social media gets sponsors, and it's a pain in the butt, and I think it's not healthy to be on social media, but if you want to get the exposure, you have to do it. So, unfortunately, I would say for you to... I don't know, does she run her own social media, or do you run it?
We both do. She does a lot of her stuff, but, of course, being so young, we monitor it, make sure things are... But, yeah, she does...
So watch your YouTube videos on how to do good posts and before these two old people, sorry, we're pretty
it's
close.
All good.
Before these two old people post anything, make sure you run through it. Make sure they got all their hashtags. Make sure you tag all your sponsors and everything. Make sure you hit everything, because it's really on you. Because it's your... I know it sucks to hear because you're so young. It's your potential future career if you love it. And the way to market yourself and do everything is to be super active on social media. And it's, like I said, don't let it get in your head. It's your value is not in likes, your value is not in shares. But if you get out and just put your stuff out there, whether it's good content or not, just put it out, put some effort to it, do your best to make it good. But that's really the way that people are making their names. I have a friend that has a moon buggy, Leah Hawkman. She crawls. She's really cool. You should reach out to her. When I first met her, she stole her husband's two-door Rubicon because she liked wheeling so much. She had like 500 followers. She ambushed social media. She got enough sponsorship or whatever through social media where she built a tube chassis moon buggy with a Isuzu 4-cylinder, some crazy stuff, an Atlas transfer case, Toyota axles, and now she travels everywhere. She's got like almost 20,000 followers on Facebook or Instagram, and it's all just because she did that blitz. So as much as I hate social media and I think it's like a bad place to be, you just have to learn how to do it healthily, and you're at a good age where if you take the right steps, you can do that, and it will severely impact your career if you do that. So
yeah, definitely will.
I don't mean to preach, but
it's definitely important. I mean, you got to have that media presence and do it right.
Yeah.
And I think she does a pretty decent job. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Going into Hammers is going to be a whole different story.
That'll be a lot of
Hopefully
fun.
we can get, like I said, a lot of people to join on board for that, and that'll be good.
Yeah, and to all of our listeners, please go follow Dirt Princess 7. She's super cool, badass. She races her own car. She makes her dad sit. I'm going to say it because I have to. She makes her dad sit bitch because she is the driver. Bright pink car, blue decals all over it. You can't miss it. And they're out here absolutely killing it. So go follow them. You know where to find us. I'm not even going to drop our links because you know us, but we're not the important ones here. Follow them. They're killing it. Actually, when I first showed up, Cameron's like, because I talked to Cameron a little bit beforehand, she's like, before you talk to anybody else, you have to go talk to Dirt Princess. Peyton is a badass. She's the future of this sport. You have to talk to her. I'm like who do I care? And then I started walking around, started to meet people, and everyone was saying, you have to go talk to Peyton. You have to go talk to Peyton. And I'm like, I have to go talk to Peyton. And then it turns out I was talking to you, and you asked for the picture. I'm like, oh shit, that's Peyton's dad.
Yeah,
we ended up out here.
We like the schoolies. They're great people, and so I'm glad we met. And I'm sure this relationship's going to grow, and we're going to have fun together.
Hell yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to all the listeners. Go follow these guys at social media. Dirt Princess 7, YouTube. What was the YouTube?
Dumfort
Racing. Go follow them, please. We're gonna blow her up. She is the future of our sport in Ultra4. Thank you for listening. I'm super stoked. This was so cool talking to you guys. Thank you for listening, and we will see or talk to you guys next week. And you guys will hear from these guys at King of the Hammers in 2024 because we will be there, and we will get the lowdown on how they got here, their new build, and everything coming up. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more ridiculousness from the Dirt Nerds? Check out DirtNerdsOffroad.com. It'll link to all of our social media, as well as our YouTube page, and you can pick up some sweet merch to help support the podcast and other adventures.